The routine in the Loki Familia followed its steady rhythm. Ace trained tirelessly, swinging her sword from dawn, while Riveria watched with her attentive gaze. Bet, the Amazon twins Tioni and Tiona, and even Lafia, the hard-working young elf, made up the scene of a noisy and lively coexistence. The mornings were filled with the sound of blades clashing in the courtyard, midday with intense training, and the nights with laughter and fights over food in the refectory. It was a chaotic harmony, a home where warriors prepared themselves every day for the next challenge. But amidst the calm of the routine, a new call echoed. During dinner, Finn, the leader of the Prums and respected hero, announced firmly, "The expedition will be resumed." The hall fell silent. It was the moment everyone had been waiting for, the chance to correct the past and conclude what had been left unfinished. With Riveria and Gareth by his side, Finn explained that, after months of battles and losses, the guild was finally ready. The debts had been paid off, the family's strength restored, and now they would once again face the enemy that had scarred them, the corrupted spirit, whose true form still lurked in the depths of the labyrinth. The members, overcome by painful memories and renewed determination, raised their fists. The cafeteria erupted in a war cry. The Loki Familia would return to the depths, not only for glory, but to put an end to the cycle of destruction that threatened the city. The peaceful daily life had ended, and the flame of adventure burned brighter than ever. Finn's declaration ignited everyone's spirits. After months of waiting, the chance to cleanse the Loki Familia's honor and eradicate the evil that persisted underground had finally arrived. The hero, standing before his companions, spoke with conviction about the mission, to destroy the true body of the corrupted spirit, the root of the incidents that had plagued the labyrinth since the last expedition. This would not be just an exploration. It would be a battle to protect the city's future. As Finn spoke, many remembered with sorrow those who had fallen. Lean, the gentle healer, and other lost companions were honored in silence. Lafia, with her eyes downcast, touched the great tear hanging from her waist, recalling the sacrifice of a girl who had disappeared before her eyes. It was for these memories that she and the others would fight. When Finn, with his confident smile, declared that they would go further and explore the unexplored layers of the labyrinth, morale reached its peak. The hall vibrated with shouts of courage. Everyone was ready, determined to leave. Finn announced that the expedition would take place in 6 days, and Raoul would be in charge of the preparations. The chairs scraped, the sounds of footsteps echoed, and each member went about their tasks with a steady glint in their eye. They knew the challenge would be immense, but for the first time in a long time, fear did not accompany them. The flame of the expedition burned brighter than ever. As they left the hall, the atmosphere was one of confidence. Riveria watched with satisfaction the adventurers' enthusiasm, while Gareth commented that even the youngest, like Cruz and Alicia, were already preparing before the official announcement, a sign that everyone was united in the same purpose. The Loki family was stronger than ever. With 3 level 7 adventurers, including Gareth and Riveria, and several members who had grown after the defense of the artificial labyrinth, the guild seemed invincible. Loki, always playful, walked behind the leaders, making jokes and jumping through the corridors. Riveria, impassive, reprimanded her firmly, which brought laughter and relieved the tension before the mission. However chaotic it might be, the goddess was the beating heart of the family. Her laughter reminded everyone that, despite the dangers they would face, there was still light and lightness in their journeys. Finn, on the other hand, remained focused. He knew that behind the enthusiasm lay the risk of euphoria turning into carelessness. With a watchful eye, he warned his companions. It was in moments of trust that the greatest unforeseen events arose. Then, guiding the group through the long corridors, he led them to a destination different from their usual base. They were not going to the Hall of Twilight, but to a more solemn place, the Chamber of the Gods, headquarters of the guild. There, a new conversation would define the course of the expedition. Upon arriving at the imposing Chamber of the Gods, Finn knocked on the heavy oak door and waited for a response. On the other side, An arrogant voice invited them in. The setting was luxurious. Thick carpets, ornate paintings, marble vases, and magical lights illuminating the spacious room. In the center, behind a large table, sat Royman Mardil, the guild leader, a man known for both his authority and his arrogance. Royman greeted the group with his usual air of superiority, but his posture was quickly undone by the unexpected presence of Loki, who appeared smiling and nonchalant, completely ignoring protocol. The man was visibly annoyed to realize that the goddess had not been invited, and her reaction only amused Loki further. With a playful gesture, she circled him, leaning over him and teasing him mercilessly, eliciting a desperate look from him. Amid the chaos, Reveria sighed, maintaining her composure, while Finn and Gareth exchanged tired glances. They were used to this kind of scene. Loki, as irritating as he was, had a singular talent for defusing any tension. When Finn finally intervened, asking them to be direct, Royman, completely out of sorts, wiped the sweat from his brow and tried to regain his dignity. Reveria spoke firmly. They weren't there for games, but to discuss serious business. Her words cut through the air like a sharp blade, commanding respect even from this man accustomed to power. Despite the barbs exchanged and the latent tension, there was a strange familiarity between them, an ancient rivalry, marked by both respect and impatience. The meeting had barely begun, but the tone already made it clear that something big was about to happen. The Loki family's next expedition wouldn't just be another journey into the labyrinth. It would be a turning point capable of changing the fate of all who dared to descend into its depths.